Hi everybody, my name is Jake Bennett. I'm in my second year here at San Jack, and I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, but I love it down here in Texas. I'm committed to Dallas Baptist University next year. I'm a catcher, a first baseman, and an outfielder, and as I'm sure Coach Krug said, I was supposed to be there today to speak to you all in person. Would have loved to. We had some schedule changes, so we've got a doubleheader on Sunday, so I can't be there, but I wanted to go ahead and make this video. Had everything written out and planned out, so I wanted to make it for you all real quick, just to share a story of mine, a little bit about my career thus far, that I think a lot of you younger players that are hopefully watching this, could benefit from. I very, very grateful for Coach Krug for this opportunity, and Coach Corey, our assistant coach here at San Jack. That we're also the volunteer 9U coaches. We love every minute of it. We love coaching them in practice and coaching them in games. But more importantly, we're very grateful for the opportunity to give back to those that have given so much to us. A little bit about Coach Krug and Coach Corey. Coach Krug is an unpaid assistant here. He doesn't take a salary. He doesn't get paid anything. But he is one of the most selfless and humble people that you will ever meet. If you're in any of if you're in his organization, I can wholeheartedly say that you're in great hands. Quick story about Krug. He's kind of taken over a lot of the field work here at San Jack. And one night I was hitting here, and I look out and his car's still here. I'm like, where's Coach Krug? What is he doing? And I see him out on the infield on his hands and knees, and he is going around the entire infield with scissors, trimming the edges to make sure that everything's level. There's no lips anywhere. And this is a guy that's not getting paid. He just loves what he does, and he loves to be here and give us everything that he can. A little bit about Coach Corey, who's also involved with C2 a bit. Some of you might not know him, but he's the recruiting coach here at San Jack. Myself, including a lot of other players, we're very grateful for him. He's given a lot of players a chance to prove themselves when a lot of other people have kind of doubted them. One of the best human beings I know. Very, very selfless. He's gone through a lot lately, but he still gives everything that he can to us as players. And he loves what he does so much. Back to what the story I wanted to share. I wanted to explain a little bit about how I ended up here at San Jack. A little bit of an interesting story. Not a little bit unorthodox, some might say, but it's one that I feel like some people can learn from. I know I've kind of learned from it, and I feel like it's a way for me to give back and hopefully share a bit of insight that some of you might learn from. But so my junior year, I committed to a D1, and I was, very excited for it, right? You see a lot of guys, you get caught up on social media seeing, hey, this guy committed to Texas, this guy's committed to A&M, he's going to Vandy, where am I going to commit? I've worked so hard for this, I want that offer, I want that big school calling me, I want to post it on Instagram with that T logo on it, whatever it may be. And so to commit to a D1 school and to get that scholarship, that was a really, really big deal for me. I felt that, I put in a lot of hard work. I thought I had earned it and deserved it. So I was really happy, I was riding this high for a really long time because of it. And what ended up happening was I ended up losing that scholarship after a couple months. I made a mistake during a game, entirely my fault, I own up to it. But they took that offer away. They took that scholarship away from me. I lost that opportunity, and I was really devastated at first because I thought that all the hours I'd put in the cage, all the hours I put in the weight room, I've done all this hard work, and I don't have any. I felt like I didn't have anything to show for it, and was very. It was. I was like, I thought this was like I can't go anywhere. I'm not gonna. No school's gonna want me. Like this isn't gonna work out for me. My career's over. And thinking that to myself, like when I thought that, I was in a really bad place mentally because this is the game I love. I've loved this game since I was 4 or 5, like 3 or 4. As long as I can remember, I've loved this game. and didn't want the opportunity to compete. I didn't want that to leave. I didn't want that to go away. And it took some time for me to kind of come back from that and kind of rebound. And what I remember from it was I went to talk to a mentor of mine, my hitting coach back home, and he told me, he said, you have two options here, right? You can not change anything, right? You can still feel bad for yourself all day, like, man, this sucks, my life sucks, this is over. You can do that. Or on the other hand, you can prove them wrong. You can work harder than you ever have. You can put your head back down, not worry about anything, and just become the best player that you can be, and everything's going to work out. And so I thought about those two options. I've gone to him for advice for a really long time, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna prove him wrong. That's what I'm gonna do. And so that was kind of my motto to myself for a really long time, and it was a time where I did work harder than I ever have at everything and every aspect of the game. I wanted to be I wanted to be the best, no matter what it was. I was going to compete. I was going to be number one in it. Every statistic, every measurable, like everything I could be, I was like, all right, I'm coming for it. It's mine. And so that really did work for me. I ended up getting a call from Corey the summer after that year, summer 21, and he very, very good recruiter. I developed a really, really good relationship with him before I even stepped foot on campus, and had a really, really good senior year athletically. Came down here, loved it my freshman year, put up some okay numbers, some pretty good numbers, and I was an all-star this fall, or in the fall of 23, and committed to Dallas Baptist, and now I'm here more than halfway through my sophomore year. And so what I realized, and this is kind of the lesson or the message that I guess I'm trying to share today, is to really trust in God's plan. That I realized that everyone told me, is like, hey, this is happening for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Just trust in it. And I didn't believe him for the longest time. It took me so long to realize that everything does happen for a reason. God has a plan for you, and you just need to sit back and trust in him and realize that you are where you are for a reason. And if it's not where you want to be, you'll get where you want to be soon enough, because those who work hard for their goals will achieve them. And that's kind of what I've realized. And I genuinely do think about this every day. I'm like, what would have happened if I did make that mistake, right? Like, what would happen if I ended up going to that school? I don't think I would be as good of a player and in the same position. That D1 I was committed to was, they're nowhere near as good as DBU. They're nowhere near as good as San Jack. What would have happened if I didn't make that mistake? I'm far better off because I made a mistake, but it was so hard for me because initially I thought that mistake was the end of the world. And hopefully some of you can realize that, if you maybe, let's say you do make a mistake. Let's use that as an example, right? Like, learn from it and move on, but know that mistake happened for a reason, and just kind of trust that everything is okay and everything will work out. And so it's very humbling to think about that story and kind of how I've ended up here and kind of how it's worked out for me. But thank you to Coach Krug for giving me this opportunity. Hopefully it's some of you have learned from it or thought it was interesting at least. Or maybe the story about Krug cutting the infield with some scissors, maybe that was good. But thank you all very much. Best of luck this season, and thank you. Have a great day.